evening. So, what we did in our last class, actually, we have seen the practical life activities. Now, today we are going to see about the finger dexterity, motor skill activities, right? Let me know whether I'm audible to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So till here we have seen tying a bow. Now we'll be seeing finger dexterity activity. Finger dexterity activity means development of fine motor skills. So the first activity, which starts from 1.5-year-old child. This is actually for a playgroup child. Multicolored beads for stringing should be there. These beads are easily available on the shop where you get all the stitching materials, like where you get needles, threads, and many different items which are used for dress designing, na. From there you get lots of beads, different colorful beads. You get all these beads are actually used in dress designing. So those multicolor beads, you can take lace or string, you can take you can put a knots on the sides wherever you require, or at the end of the lace, or at the middle of the lace. Okay, so with all these things you can do these activities. How you have to do, you have to group all the colors together, you have to mix it up, string one, and then let them put one color string in one lace, so that in this they are going to learn about different colors, and then they are understanding about arranging, sorting, seriating, classifying, all these types of logical qualities and skills they are going to develop into their self. Okay, so this is the activity with this bead stringing. Children literally enjoy this activity at the lowest age. Next activity is bottles and tops. Yesterday also I told you, you must teach the children how to cap the bottle and how to uncap it. So this is replace the bottle and unscrew the tops and replace them. So all these activities, you can keep jars, you can keep bottles, you can keep transparent bottles, you can keep transparent balls, you can keep transparent boxes. Okay, that can also do can be done with this method. Okay, see here, this is the picture of capping the bottles and placing them in a box. This box is actually a wooden box in Montessori, but when you are using the substitutes in Montessori in home, so at that time you can use a carton box and a normal jar. You are not putting anything into this jar. You are just actually capping the jar or the bottles and then keeping it safely, properly. The control of error may be keeping it properly in arrangement, keeping it without noise. Many things can be done. Okay, so this is about the next activity of finger dexterity. Now, the next activity which is coming in front of us is the activity which can be done with the small children and cannot be done. The next activity is the cutting. This activity is actually not meant for 1.5-year-old child. This can be done after 3-year-old child, but we have to make sure that the scissors which the child is using must be blunt ended. Okay, the scissor, it must not have a sharp end so that the child is getting hurt. Okay, before making the child doing this activity, we must always give them a practice of doing this activity without the use of scissors, with the hands like this. Okay, so when they are cutting it, they are doing the actions of cutting like this way, the scissor goes, and then put their finger like this, and this way you have to do the finger, and then put it up down like this. So when they are doing it, actually what we do now, we do a very good mistake. We always tell them, if you can see my video, let's just see, we always tell them the scissor like this, cut. Okay, but it is not actually this way. You must make them the habit like this, because this way they are going to hold the scissor, right, in the two holes like this, and then they will be doing like this. This action is going to happen automatically. We have to teach them this way. Okay, right? Are you all understanding what I mean to say?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that you need to teach them how to hold the scissor. And then because this activity is going to happen on their own. If they understand how to hold the scissor, then only they will be able to cut the things. And for this thing, the finger dexterity is important. Another activities which are usually happening in the school is painting, coloring. Okay. These are many different activities. And the next activities also will be see a drawing, working with clay. Here in Montessori, actually, Dr. Maria Montessori used to use actually the floor, that is which we called as atta. She used to knead the dough, and then she used to put food grade colors into it and made those floor into colorful clays, because the it is actually food grade also, and if a small child is eating up also, it is not going to harm the child, because when we do a clay related activity with a child, 2-year-old or 3-year-old, the child doesn't know that this we do not want to eat. And if we do this activity with 1.5-year-old child, means this child is putting everything in the mouth, isn't it? 1.5-year-old child, whatever we give, even a toy, even anything we give to the child is going to put it into the mouth. So initially, when the child is introduced with the clay, always we must uh, give them flour and use food color for that, so that we give colors to the clay. And we must instruct them that this is clay and not flour, and they must not eat it, because when they are using this with the hands, they are rubbing the clay with the hands, then what happens, the germs into their body, the germs which is there in their hands goes into the body.
Ma'am, one doubt, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
We can prepare a dough in a home itself and we can give means.
Actually, when we talk about Montessori in home, means everything you have to take it from your home.
Yes, yes. Because if we are buying from outside means it is harmful for kids. But if we prepare a dough and we can
Give
give the
them.
kids means it
Yes,
is little more.
yes, but the main intention is, yes, it is safe, because if the child is eating that by mistake, so it is safe. If the child is eating the clay that is having a chemical, so it is going to harm to the child. But when we give them the flour also, we must not tell them that this is flour and you can have it. We must make them a habit that this is a clay only, this is a soft
Okay, okay,
clay,
okay.
so that the child has an habit that he must not eat that clay, and afterwards you can give the market clay. The difference between the
Okay.
homemade clay and the market clay is that that is soft, and initially the child's hands are very much soft, so they cannot put pressure into their hands. But when they are having a habit of using that clay, okay, then what happens, when you give them the clay which is always available in the market, that is little harder, so they can put pressure, and then they can do it very nicely. So as they are having a habit of not eating the clay, if by mistake if the child eats up, then it is not going to harm to the child. This only directress must know, that is the teacher only must know, because we want to make them a habit that the clay is not to be eaten, it is only to make something. We are making different things, because that clay also the child must not eat. Which clay? The flour clay which we are making from home. Why? Because children are having germs in their hands, so the floor which is made clay now will be getting lots of germs in their hand. So that is actually harmful for the child. But
Yes.
if he eats also, it is not going to harm that much if the child eats the chemical clay, isn't it? Do you agree with me?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
So you have to take care. You have to make sure that the child must not eat the clay. No matter you give them the floor clay also, the child must not eat that. Okay. Next, doing puzzles. These different types of puzzles you can make it at your home. How you can make it, like the children are first initially introduced with different shapes. See, if you made a cartoon, okay, and then cut that cartoon into square, so it is easy for you, because in square, you just have to cut it one standing line and one sleeping line, and it is cut it into four shape, right? And but that becomes difficult for a child to set up, and then we can teach them square. Pick up that square and place it here. This is the head, this is the leg. So this way, different homemade puzzles you can make, and that becomes very easy for the child. You can make animals, you can make flowers, you can make vehicles, you can make a garden, you can make a cartoon, you can make uh, the transports, right? Many different things you can make, so that you can cut that in any shape and make the child arrange it. It can be in two pieces, it can be in three pieces, it can be in four pieces, it can be in 10 pieces. If it is a big puzzle, see, if you're cutting very small pieces, it becomes very difficult for a child to find out. And if there are big pieces, so if you're cutting it into four pieces or three pieces, so it is a big piece. So the child is picking up that piece and then the child is arranging. So that becomes a very good puzzle. That try to make it a good puzzle for a child. Next year, sieving. This activity, what we have to do here, we have eye hand coordination with this. Sieving cards. Here, sieving cards means they have to join these cards with the big holes. They do not have to use needle. With big holes, they have to put them the, like how we do the activity of lacing and putting the knot when they are doing it with busy dressing boards. Similarly, they have to pretend that they are swimming. One, they are putting down, then from down they are coming up, then putting down, then they are coming up. First, they have to sieve the paper, then the card paper, then the cardboard, and then lastly the fabric. Okay, and afterwards we give them the needle. Initially, we always give them the needle with a blunt end so that the child understands. Okay, yes. The next activity, this is not for finger dexterity, but this is practical life activity. We have to make them aware of the nature, the natural things, the flowers, the plants, the animals outside, the trees, the garden. We have to take them to the visit so that they understand the importance of nature. That is also important. So just a visit, or you can bring all these flowers and plants to your classroom also, and make them understand that this comes in nature. Silence game also can be played along with this. Okay, so here we finish up with the finger dexterity activity. Now next we'll be seeing about early sensorial exercises. Here we must understand that what are the senses actually required. So here, this is a very famous thing always there in Montessori, which this is called as a pink tower. We also have a blue tower, and nowadays there are different color blocks, because initially this was called as tower because blocks were not available. But nowadays in market you get many different building blocks of different sizes, of different arrangements. Earlier, the blocks used to come from which you could make only the tower, like one by one you're keeping up. But nowadays in the market we are getting countless number of blocks from which you can make a house, you can make a puppet, you can make anything. It can be a car also, it can be an aeroplane also. We get lots of games in the market, right? But as this Montessori is the oldest method, so still this method is there to prepare a tower. When they're preparing a tower, they are actually understanding the space and the size. They are developing the spatial confidence and spatial compatibility into their mindset, so that the big block must come down, then the smaller than the bigger one that will come up, and then again a smaller will come up. So in this way they understand the difference between the big and small. They understand the difference between different and various colors. Okay, so this becomes very important for a child. And control of error here, maybe when the child is not able to differentiate between the size, differentiate between the colors, and the tower is falling down, it is not set properly. Okay, so this is about the senses. The child is understanding, the child is developing the spatial competence. Next, we come up to the cylinders and solid insects. These are the activities where different types of blocks are there. These are the material actually which are very much costly, because these are the materials which are made from wood. They're from wood. They are there. There are 10 wooden cylinders with 10 holes in the blocks, and it is contained very good knobs into it so that the child can pick it up very easily and put it into the blocks according to the shape. Now we can make this by the help of different cartoons and the roll-ons. We can make this with the help of different size, this one, sieving, what we call it is threads, you know. For this, we can give them different types of threads. We get a thread of 5 inch, we get the thread of 6 inch, we get the thread of 2 inch. You know, we do sieving now, that thread rings is there. Okay, with that thread rings, and you can make this on a thermocol. Okay, and at the end of the knob, you can just put a bottle cap, so that the child, the bottle cap of which bottle cap, you know, the old cold drinks bottle cap, which we open it from a opener, tomato ketchup bottle caps, you know, in that you can do a hole. Okay, and with that hole, you can just place the thread into that thread pinpoint. Okay, and then put it of different sizes. We get different sizes threads, you know, and then on a thermocol, which thermocol you must use? You must use here the thermocol which we get it on the new television. When we get a new television or a gas stove, new gas stove we get, or a new television we get, system, computer system we get a thermocol which is having a broad base, you know. In that, with a cutter, you can make holes, and this thread rings with that bottle caps. You can make this item. It becomes very cheapest. It is made out of waste, which is there. See, when you place a TV in your home, what will happen to that thermocol, which we get a new fridge, new cooler, we get lots of thermocol, the hard thermocols, right? We are just throwing that into the dustbin. You can make use of that with the reels, of the threads which we use for sieving. You are just throwing off that. You can use those. So when you are planning to start your Montessori school from your home, now start collecting all these materials. So this way you can make a cheapest Montessori school, and you can start at the lowest fees, because this material starts from 2,500. This only one material, this one, cylinders. This only one, it comes in 2,500. When we take it from Amazon or Flipkart, when we are taking online. Okay, but when you talk about all the Montessori equipments, it goes about more than lakhs. Okay, there are very costly equipments. So I'm just telling you about the substitute, that how you can make this type of material and make the child do this activity. And if it is spoiled or soiled also, you can make this at your home again, right? See, we have vacations at every year end. So at every year, you can make all these new things. And these type of cartoons we usually get in the electronics shop, these type of thermocols. Okay, you can have a tie-up with a sieving material shop also, where we get needles, threads, buttons, and many different things. You can have a tie-up with them. You can have a tie-up with the tailors who are actually daily they are throwing up reels. You give us the reels, I want to make the Montessori equipments, right? So with that, you can make this cylinders, so that you can teach the child different spatial competencies, and they will understand the difference between in which hole which cylinder is going to go. This is the actual activity. Okay, with this activity, what mathematical thing you can teach to the child? Please let me know. When we talk about the mathematical concept, what can you teach the child in this, by this activity? Which mathematical concept you can teach? Please let me know if you are understanding.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, Kartika.
Yeah, ma'am.
I'm asking, with this activity, what mathematical concept we can teach to the children?
So we can give the addition.
Addition. Okay, how?
Because we can have 2, 3, 4 blocks. If they pick 1, 1, 1, or they can add, if 2 plus 3, they can add 5 blocks will be there, like that they can
Okay.
segregate.
Yeah, so addition below 10, you can teach them, right? Good. You can
And
also
also
teach them
big and small
ascending
we
and
can teach,
descending.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
small
big
and
number,
big.
small number. We can,
Yes, big number, small number, ascending order, descending order.
and we can take heavy and light. We can have some of
Yes,
10 here, and we can.
yes, yes. So now you understood, with this one material, you can teach many different concepts to the children. So you must
Yes,
always
ma'am.
understand that with this one material, what all things you can teach. So if you are making this, because you have one practical, my intention to ask you this question was that if you are doing this course, means you have to make in practical one teaching activity, you have to make the lesson plan also, no? So if you will start making these materials, then you can use these materials when you are giving the lesson, giving your lesson demonstration, isn't it? So you can use mathematical concepts with these materials. Fine. See here the countings: one block, two block, three block, here four blocks, right? So teaching is nothing but creativity. You can think and actually think out of the box. That is important. Okay. Next is fabric basket. Yes. Here in Montessori, we teach the students how to make a fabric basket. So when the child is making the basket, the child is understanding the importance and understanding the variety of different textured fabrics like silk, cotton, terracotta, caudry, mohair, many different synthetic materials. Okay, different types of materials. The child is understanding that with this fabric we can make many different things. Okay. Next, thermal bottles. Now this is very much important, thermal bottles. Here we teach them the concept of hot and cold. Okay, these thermal bottles you cannot make, you only have to buy. Okay, there is no other option. You can purchase a thermos or a Milton bottle also, and with that bottle you can teach them. In one bottle you can keep hot water, and in another bottle you can keep cold water. Put it into the bowl and make them understand. So that thermal bottles are also the Montessori equipments. This you have to purchase only. Next, button games. Now here in this button games, yes, you buttons you get is very easily different colored buttons. You can take out from different shirts or coats of old shirts and coats. You can take it out, or you can just purchase it. Okay, the child must have buttons of proper color. The child will arrange the buttons of proper color, okay, in one area, and will understand. You can keep one color missing, and then the child is searching for the missing color buttons. Okay, so there you can play many different button games. Here, rough and smooth boards. Here the child understands the sense. Okay, all these games are according to the senses. Here the child is developing their own senses. The child is feeling, and that is why all
Okay,
these
okay.
activities are sensorial activities. Okay, so rough
Okay,
and
ma'am.
smooth, the child is feeling. You can keep one rough material in one board, and in another board you can keep a smooth material. It can be a fabric, it can be a fur, okay, it can be a feather, it can be anything which is smooth. It can be a sandpaper which is rough, it can be needles with which is rough, it can be something which pricks them, that is rough. Okay, so all these materials you can keep them so that the child understands the difference between the rough and the smooth. Next, this silence game. This is very much important. This I have introduced you yesterday. Here they are using the sense of their ear so that they understand the difference and their senses are developed. This silence game I have explained you yesterday. Walking in line, yes, this activity you can do it when the children learn to walk in the line. In that line, you can teach many different things. You can teach them circle, you can teach them ellipse, you can teach them letters, you can teach them numbers. They have to walk in letter A, they have to walk in letter B. Okay, you can make a big B on the floor and just tell them to walk in line properly without making any noise, and then you can make it B. So this is what we are making. We are making B. Okay, this way. Now this barrack tablets. Yes, this is very much important. This barrack tablets. These barrack tablets are easily available in the market. Okay, and actually they are costly, but there is no other option for this. You have to purchase this barrack tablets, and these tablets you have to make them understand that these are heavy, light. Actually barrack tablets are heavy, you know now what are barrack tablets.
What, ma'am? Hello, ma'am.
Wait. See here, these are the things which is available in this book. You get how to make all these equipments. This is in part 6. See here, you can make the paint and dove, which I told you. See here, it comes barrack tablets. What you need, 5 to 6 pieces of boards
Ma'am, you will
in
send this
different
PDF to
weights.
us, ma'am?
It is actually weight. We call them as a barrack tablet. Weight, when which वजन काटे में जो वजन रखते हैं ना, those weights. Actually, when that vegetable seller, he is actually weighing the veg
Yes.
with those weights, those are barrack tablets. But when you are actually purchasing that, it becomes easy for a child to understand. So you can make this with different wooden plywoods. They are saying that way. Okay. Here it is given. See your command cards. This is rough and smooth. Here in this rectangular, one side rough, one side smooth, smooth, rough, smooth, rough. So all the methods and techniques is also given. These scent bottles and thermal bottles. Yes, here you can make the thermal bottles. How you can make here, it is given. Sound bottles, scent bottles. Scent bottles, see, 12 plastic or glass bottles, small size. Spice bottles also you can take. Okay, so in this you have to put the things which are having which are giving very good sense. That is a clove, tea, cinnamon, nutmeg, bay leaf. All these are giving different types of scent. Is it? They all are having different smells. So you can keep all these things in different bottles, which is having a very tight cap, and when they are opening it, they are feeling that smell. Okay, similarly goes for the sound bottles. You can keep the seeds of beans, pepper seeds, rice, tea, sugar, and just shake it. So when they are shaking, they are getting different sounds. These are different bottles. See, color tablets. These color tablets are nothing but the buttons. Okay, so you can make different color tablets. Okay, so you need different types of plywood actually for making these color tablets. Yes, here again a spindle box. You need a popsicle sticks for this plastic spoon. That way you can make a spindle box like this. It is nothing but an xylophone. See here, this is a spindle box. So here at the last page, you are getting an idea how to make all these equipments. Yeah. So now we are finished with barrack tablets. This mystery bag. Sound bottles I told you. Color tablets I told you. Scent bottles I told you. All these things are giving senses. Okay. Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
geometric shapes also you can make with different plates. Actually, in Montessori, they are using the wooden plywood for everything. But you can use hard cardboard and then teach them. Okay, naming different colors. This type of game also can be played. So here we finish up with the sensorial activities. Now Monday onwards we'll be actually seeing about the reading and writing exercises for the linguistic development, the language development. Okay. So today we have finished with 3 modules. We have finished module 1 about Dr. Maria Montessori. We have finished module 2 exercises in practical life, and today we have finished with module 3 in sensorial development. In sensorial thing, what all activities you need. So you have to make any 3 activities related to the senses. Okay, and then you have to write it in that activity record journal. On Monday we'll be seeing about the language development things. Okay, so this much is okay for the day. Now we'll be directly meeting on Monday. Any doubts?
Ma'am, you will send this PDF to us, ma'am?
PDF.
Yes.
This book
This PDF,
PDF.
some of 100 pages.
You need this book's PDF. You have
No, okay, this is the book. Okay,
this
okay,
is,
ma'am. Okay, I ordered this book. You
yeah,
sent that
that's
book,
what.
ma'am? Yeah, I ordered.
You will get everything in that book. I am teaching from that book only.
Yeah,
No.
okay, ma'am. Okay, I ordered the book, ma'am.
Whenever I'll be teaching from another thing, that I'll send you.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
I thought it's of
Within
some
this
other.
Saturdays or Sundays, if I'm free, I'll be sending you the notes. Okay. No matter
Okay,
if
ma'am.
you are not having exams, but you must have the notes, right? So I'll be sending
Okay,
you the
ma'am.
PDF
Okay.
of the notes of all the 3 modules. I've taught you the 3
Why
modules.
exams is not for us, ma'am?
Because there is a
Why no exam?
so in the center the question papers and everything is not prepared, and as the course is for
Okay.
6 months, so for 6 months it becomes very difficult. So after the
Okay, ma'am.
course and
Okay.
syllabus is changed, this is your first batch. So in 6 months
Okay,
it
ma'am.
becomes
Okay, ma'am.
very difficult, because it is not the only one center all over India. We are having multiple centers all over India in army camp. So to prepare many different things, it becomes impossible to do it in 6 months. So they have
Okay, ma'am.
said
Okay,
that
ma'am.
do not keep exams for this batch. For another batch, there will be exam.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. Till now they have said that, but if they have prepared the papers, then you will have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Written
Yes,
notice
yes.
we haven't got yet.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So bye bye.
Okay, ma'am.